Hi friends, this story time we're going to read Fish is Fish by Leo Lionni. Hi. At the edge of the woods there was a pond, and there a minnow and tadpole swam among the weeds. They were inseparable friends. So you know what a tadpole is? That's a baby frog. A minnow is a baby fish. And inseparable means that they were always together. One morning, the tadpole discovered that during the night he had grown 2 little legs. "Look," he said triumphantly. "Look, I am a frog." "Nonsense," said the minnow. "How could you be a frog if only last night you were a little fish just like me?" They argued and argued until finally the tadpole said, "Frogs are frogs and fish is fish, and that is that." In the weeks that followed, the tadpole grew tiny front legs and his tail got smaller and smaller. How does it look like his fish friend is feeling about that? Do you see his face? Doesn't seem very happy, does he? And then one fine day, a real frog now, he climbed out of the water and onto the grassy bank. The minnow too had grown and had become a full-fledged fish. He often wondered where his 4-footed friend had gone, but days and weeks went by and the frog did not return. Think he misses his friend. Then one day, with a happy splash that shook the weeds, the frog jumped into the pond. "Where have you been?" asked the fish excitedly. "I have been about the world, hopping here and there," said the frog. "I have seen extraordinary things." "Like what?" asked the fish. "Birds," said the frog mysteriously. "Birds." And he told the fish about the birds who had wings and 2 legs and many, many colors. As the frog talked, his friend saw the birds fly through his mind like large feathered fish. "What else?" asked the fish impatiently. So since the fish has never seen a bird, this is what he imagines them to look like. I know, it's kind of funny, huh? "Cows," said the frog. "Cows. They have 4 legs, horns, eat grass, and carry pink bags of milk." That's how the fish imagined. Does that look like a cow? Kind of, right? Also looks like a fish. "And people," said the frog, "men, women, children." And he talked and talked until it was dark in the pond. But the picture in the fish's mind was full of lights and colors and marvelous things, and he couldn't sleep. Oh, if he could only jump about like his friend and see the wonderful world. This is how he imagines people. What do you think of this author's ability to draw and paint the pictures? Yeah, he's a great artist. I really like the way that he paints. Oh, look, this is the fish is imagining all the different things that his friend, the frog, has seen. And what do they all look like? And so the days went by. The frog had gone, and the fish just lay there dreaming about birds in flight, grazing cows, and those strange animals all dressed up that his friend called people. One day he decided that come what may, he too must see them. And so with a mighty whack of his tail, he jumped clear out of the water onto the bank. Can fish breathe when they're not in the water? He landed in the dry, warm grass, and he lay there gasping for air, unable to breathe or to move. "Help," he groaned feebly. So you know when you're in the water, when you're swimming, how you feel so light? And then you might notice when you get out of the water, you feel heavy again. Yes, that's because we don't feel gravity the same in the water as we do when we're on land. So for a fish that's never felt that feeling before, can you imagine? You always feel light like you're in the water, and then getting out of it, you probably feel like 1,000,000 pounds. Luckily, the frog, who had been hunting butterflies nearby, saw him and with all of his strength pushed him back into the pond. Still stunned, the fish floated about for an instant. Then he breathed deeply, letting the cool, clean water run through his gills. Now he felt weightless again, and with an ever so slight motion of the tail, he could move to and fro, up and down, just as before. The sun rays reached down within the weeds and gently shifted patches of luminous color. This world was surely the most beautiful of all the worlds. He smiled at his friend the frog, who sat watching him from a lily leaf. "You were right," he said. "Fish is fish." So once he got back in the water, he appreciated it so much more than he did before. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story. Have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.